Hey, how's it going? Janelle here from JanelleEmma.com. I want to talk to you today about closing and follow-up. Do you hate it? Do you hate it as much as I do? Shouldn't say I hate it, but it's something that annoys me if you don't get the yes or the no answer. Obviously, a yes or a no is better than a maybe. So you want to try and avoid those people that are saying, I'll think about it. You want to try and avoid that, and you want to try and get the answer as quick as possible so you can move on, so you're not following up with the same person over and over and over again. If you followed up 3 or 4 times, I think that that's enough, and if you haven't got an answer out of them straight away, that's when you need to just move on and take it as a no and decide for them that that's a no, and just move on to the next person. I think we need to stop wasting our time with follow-ups if they just aren't coming back to us quick enough. And we are all busy people. We need to respect our own time. We need to respect the time that we give out to our prospects and to the people that are contacting us, and just make it a point to show that you are on a deadline for yourself. You've got to respect your own time because you've got a family, you've got your own business to run, you've got things that you need to be doing, so you need to respect your time. So get people committed to what it is that you want them to do. Get some sort of an answer out of them, and usually how you start a meeting is how it will end. So if you're starting very confidently, if you're giving them the details straight away so they know that yes, it's a network marketing meeting, or a 3-way call or something, at least they know the details straight away. Let them know all of those details so they can not be coming onto a call or coming into a home meeting thinking that they then are expecting something different, or that they don't have some sort of a decision already in their mind. So I think we need to make sure that right from the start they know exactly what they're turning up for, no secrets, and make sure that they that you have their full attention and that they have your full attention as well. So if it is a home meeting, no chit chat type stuff happening until once the meeting has finished. If you're doing too much of that, you're just spreading out your time with those people without really getting a decision from them. So, maybe ask them in a respectful way, can we leave the chit chat till the end and I'll have a bit more of a social chat with you then. But at the moment I need to focus on what I've got to tell you so I can get, so you can get that decision from them without having to actually be wasting both of your time. So I think that that's really important. And don't go sending links, to people if those links aren't really congruent with what the meeting is going to be about, or you don't know when that person is going to watch that link unless you've set up a time to say, okay, can you watch this in 15 minutes? I need your full attention on watching this before we then make a phone call. So there's no use sending a link to someone and they watch that presentation link or that video that you've sent them at their kid's soccer game. They're not going to get your full you're not going to get their full undivided attention in watching that video properly to make a proper executive decision on what it is you've sent them. So make sure that it's at a time that is quiet, that they're not having any distractions, and that they are wanting to actually watch it properly and maybe take some notes. Or make sure you are with them when they actually watch the video. It could be at the home meeting that you actually send them, get them to watch the video. Or make sure it's something like, if it is a video, it's only a really quick 2-minute one or something, and make sure you say, okay, watch this 2-minute video, can you watch it now, and I'll ring you back in 10 minutes time, and ask them if it's going to be a time where they're distracted or undistracted, and because you need their undivided attention. You're not going to get a proper decision from them if they haven't really put their whole attention into what it is you've sent them. They're not really going to understand it all in one video or one meeting if their attention is out the window because they're thinking about something else, or like I said, they're at the kids' soccer game trying to watch the video while their kid's playing soccer. It's not going to work. They need to be in that frame of mind where they've got their full attention on that video or their full attention at that home meeting without some sort of stressful situation in their mind that's ticking away, that's going to cause them to make the wrong decision. So I really think that that's important, and I think we need to be setting up those appointments in a time that we know is not going to be a distraction for them. What else did I want to say? So make them commit to a time as well, and always book a meeting from a meeting. So I call that, well, I've learnt that from Eric Worre, so BAMFAM, book a meeting from a meeting. So if they are not giving you an answer at the start, book another meeting so you can get that answer next time, because there's no use them walking away from that meeting and you've got no idea what their answer is. They've just walked out the door and you're like, oh, well, now what do we do? You know, so make sure you've made another follow-up appointment with them. Make sure that you've either got some sort of answer from them. If they need some more information, make sure you get that to them. Make sure that you are asking enough questions so they can make a proper decision on the day if they are going to make a proper decision. So I think using those emotional triggers really helps. You know, you don't want to be trying to get a decision from them if there hasn't been an emotional trigger. So the emotional trigger could be, hey John, I know you told me the other day you want to make some more money for your family so you can go on that holiday next year, and that's why I thought this would be a good opportunity for you to look at this presentation. So that's the emotional trigger. So they then will give their attention to you because you've triggered something in their mind as to why they might want to watch it. So that emotional trigger can be massive. Or it could be something like, hey, I know you're trying to pay for your daughter's wedding, and I know that this could maybe help you out if you want to take a look at it. If you're open to having a look at it, this is something that could really help you get that extra money coming in for a little while. So, you know, that's that emotional trigger again. They've gone, oh, okay, maybe this is something I want to look at. I can do this part-time. I can do it away from my normal job, and I really think I want to have a look at this. So then you're going to get their attention, and they're going to watch it properly because you've triggered an emotional factor within them before they even know what it's about. So this is why we need to ask a lot of questions. This is why we need to make sure that we are finding out more personal things about our prospects and our contacts before we go and plant the presentation on them. If you're just trying to, you know, send out links to people and you know nothing about them, how do you know they're even going to watch it, or they're going to watch it with their full attention on that video? You know what I mean? It's not really going to work if you don't know that emotional trigger as to why they would want to watch it in the first place. So make sure that you are doing that. Make sure you're finding out their pains and their struggles, or some reason as to why they would want to watch this in the first place. Also, I just think that, you know, we need to ask for the sale. Make sure that you're asking for the sale. You need to not let them walk away from a presentation without knowing what it is, if they want more information, or if they even liked it. So I think a really good one is saying, what is it you liked about what you saw? Don't ask, what did you think, because they'll probably tell you what they didn't like. You know, everyone loves that whole negative thought train. So they will probably tell you what they didn't like, you know, whereas if you say, what did you like about what you saw? They're going to tell you the things that they liked about it, because that's the question you've asked. That triggers that psychology in the brain to actually answer that sort of question. So once they tell you that sort of thing, it will give you an idea of where to go next. So if they say, oh, I really like this part of it, I like the fact that it's residual income, I like the fact that I can do it from home, away from my work and all that sort of stuff, and then you can say something like, great, do you see an opportunity for yourself with this? You know, and if that's, if they've got to that stage where they said that they liked a few things about the presentation, and you then say, you know, do you see yourself having an opportunity with this? They will then tell you the next thing. They'll either say, oh, I don't think so, or they'll say yes, you know, and that's when you're getting your yes or no answer. So I think that's really important to do. Asking, do you see yourself having an opportunity with this? And then that's when you can pretty much close the deal. You know, they'll either say, well, I do, but I need some more information. And you can say, great, well, what information do you need? I'll give that to you now, or I'll send it to you on email tomorrow, you know. And if it's a yes, you can say, okay, what else do we need to do before we get started? What else would you like me to show you or tell you before we get started? So those sort of closing questions can really close the deal right then and there without actually having to wait for the next 3 or 4 times that you meet up with them. It can be so frustrating, it can be stressful for both parties, and it can seem like you're starting to get pushy if you're doing too many follow-ups because they haven't given you a decision. Whereas if you make them give you the decision on the spot, and they give you a no, that's great. A no is great because it means you can move on to the next person. If they give you a yes, then that's great as well. And obviously giving you the yes means that they want to look more into it. So you just have to ask them, what else is it you want to look at today that I can help you with before we actually sign you up? Or, you know, okay, let's have another talk tomorrow, meet up at lunchtime tomorrow in between our work hours, and I'll go over a few more things about the compensation plan, just so they get that extra information to feed them. We need to feed them stuff all the time. Whether that's drip feeding them because they've given you a maybe and there's been no answer, I think the drip feeding can work as long as they're open to receiving that information in a drip feed, over the next few months, and they're just still trying to make that decision because maybe the time just isn't right for them. Timing is everything. So the timing might not be right because they have a few family issues at the moment, and that's why they haven't said yes or no. So we've got to respect that. Or it could be, that they've got a lot of things going on with their kids at the moment, and we have to respect that as well because, they don't want to give a decision based on the fact that they're stressed out at the moment. So that's fine as well. But if they're in a situation where they're in a home meeting and you've asked them, what did you like about what you saw? And they've actually told you things that they like, that's an open-ended question. That means you can then say, okay, great. So do you see yourself having an opportunity for this? If they say yes, say great, what else can we go into next? What information can I give you now that can help you before you sign up? We want to be their friend. We want to give out that information, and we want to make sure that they're making the right decisions for themselves at that time. So another thing you can say is, are you in or out? And I know with Tanya Eliza, she might say, okay, based on 1 to 10, where do you see yourself with this? That's a closing question that she uses. And obviously if they say they're an 8, she says, great, so what can we do to get you to a 9? What information do you need extra that we can give you to get you to that 9 or 10? Or if they say that they're, sort of under a 5, then that's usually a no. So, you can say, well, okay, do you need any more information to get you to a 6 or a 7? Or is that under a 5, that's your way of saying no? So it's just asking those extra questions at that time. And this is why I like one-on-one meetings rather than the home meeting. Home meetings are good, but you can't get that personal and ask those questions like that unless you then tell them as they're walking out the door, I'm going to ring you tomorrow and ask you a few questions, and make an appointment with each one of those people at that in-home meeting. So that's that BAM FAM, book a meeting from a meeting. Get everyone that was at that meeting, if it's 4 or 5 people, start saying to them, okay, can I catch up with you all tomorrow just to find out some more information or to see what you thought about, what you liked about what you saw. So I think this is important stuff. I know that we all struggle with follow-ups and with closing, but it is something we have to do and something we've got to get better at as we go along. And yes, follow-ups can be frustrating, but they are a part of our business and our company. So get to the point where you like them enough that you can do them without pulling your hair out. And I think that's the way we need to go. So if you got value from this, please like or share or comment this if it was of value to you. And please subscribe to my videos if you are getting value from them as well. And I'll see you all on the next video.